MAM is a client-server media asset management application tailored for integrated playout. The high level of integration of functionality within the K2 Edge system allows a much simpler media model, reducing playout complexity. MAM prepares content to be ready for on-air use at its earliest possible stage, which results in a reliable and efficient playout as very little operator interaction is required. MAM is natively multi-channel and easily scales up for large playout facilities. We're showing MAM here on a web client, and we have to log in with a username and password. While we're doing this, we get access to the specific channels and media I have access to from a user perspective. On the left side, we can see categories of media, which can all contain their own metadata. Let's look at the asset list for the program category. When I click on the program category, I get all the assets available in that category. In this case, the Bath1 market asset shows me the metadata, and I have a definition which is defined by an XML in the database. This metadata can be used on air in the presentation as we're doing in the zone demo. The text you see when we do a picture-in-picture is related to this specific metadata. In Channel Composer, you saw that the dynamic metadata was linked to the design, and this is where Channel Composer gets the metadata from, and we render this on text in real time on air. So there's a metadata definition which can differ for each category in the system. Next to the metadata existing for a specific asset type, we have technical metadata describing the technical properties of the asset. The media type might be MPEG-2 in SD or HD, it might be an MXF, and this is completely configurable for your specific setup. It might be that you're using MOV files, MXF files, MPEG-2 files, and if it's relevant to retain that information, we define that XML metadata in the database. The aspect ratio, for example, can be used for on-air presentation, for example, to have a letterbox during a 4:3 playout on an HD system. We have loudness interrogation, and in this case we have added a parental guide for this program to allow to make a decision for on-air presentation with a bug or something similar. The next step allows us to manage secondary essences which are related to the main media type. In this case we're managing subtitles, but we could also do voiceovers, graphics, all relating to the main media type. In the Spot Check tab, we're able to trim the media, for example, to remove black frames at the beginning and the ending of the media. So we'll give it an in point, move to the out point, skip a few frames here, set the out point, and write it back to the database. If we schedule this piece of media, it automatically takes the TC in and TC out point, and as such removes the black frames at the beginning and the end. We have a concept of asset jobs, which allows us, for example, to do automatic QC, a loudness measurement, and correct for that during playout at the same time. The sharing tab allows us to share content amongst the different users. Then the final tab, the history of the media, we can follow the whole trace of the media throughout the system with the corresponding dates and times of any modification on the asset. So while we're looking here at a program with its metadata, we can look at a music video here, and we can see that the music video has a totally different set of metadata. And again, this is fully customizable throughout the system by the user administration. MAM is very strong in managing the TX state for on-air use. For example, in this case, we see a TX status where we can follow the trace throughout the system, where in this case, the asset is ingested, was okay, the browse copy was created, and the automatic QC still has to happen. For example, in this case, we can also see that the subtitle is not yet available, but it might not be mandatory for the system. This is completely configurable. The subtitle might be required for on-air, and in that case, the system cannot take the content on air before the subtitle is available. The program category in this case is defined by 4 TX states, and the commercial category just by 2 TX states. So every category can have its own TX states, and think about TX states as specific jobs the system has to make before the asset is on air available. For example, a loudness control, an automatic QC, even a manual QC, a subtitle, they can all be defined in its TX states. Ingest into the system can be a local watch folder, an FTP share, status ingest, live ingest from an SDI feed, a live record, and we also allow export again from the system. The powerful custom metadata options and the ability to differentiate between media types simplifies Playout, specifically when more complex channel branding is required. Compared to traditional Playout and other integrated Playout solutions, MAM is superior in its data model. Due to its close integration with the K2 Edge and Channel Composer offerings from Grass Valley, it offers an efficient and reliable Playout solution. Broadcasters want to stand out with their channels. MAM allows our customers to be unique and take their channels on air with the functionality and confidence they need.